Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Wednesday, October 4th, day 64 in Big Brother 25. Oh my goodness. Wednesday, right? Okay, so eviction is tomorrow. And, Felicia's getting evicted. I think today's going to be an abbreviated car cast, only because... Felicia's going. She's kind of given up. She's kind of resigned to the fact that she's going to go. She talks a little bit about fighting, but she's really not. Corey, on a couple different occasions yesterday, brought up the possibility of voting out Nicole instead of Felicia, but I don't think that's going to happen. It'll make for TV fodder if they even choose to use it. I don't know what they're going to do tomorrow. It just in general, not happening. It's definitely ground its way on towards the inevitable of Felicia getting voted out. It will be most likely unanimous, Felicia getting voted out, and then we'll be on to the next head of household, this will be interesting again. This is where major shifts can happen here. I mean, everybody's games are very dependent on this part now. The alliances are still very, very fluid. And it's not a super, even though it's not a super divided house, I guess. And there are multiple people that could get voted out depending on how things go. That's how I feel, at least. I mean, there's others that might disagree with me and say, oh no, it's very clear who will be nominated and who will get voted out depending on who wins head of household. But I don't know, man. They're all very, look at the way, Cameron didn't decide to go after Corey, he seemed pretty adamant that he was going to do it. Then he decided it wasn't worth it, and it's not bad. It's all right. I also as I'm talking, I'm thinking about the fact that as I was reading Twitter last night, in one particular thread popped up where the comments were, "This is the worst season in years. This season is so boring. It is so," and I'm thinking, where have you been, person? There's a lot of times people really, if their favorite goes out, if they don't like who's left, it becomes the worst season ever. It becomes, a horrible season, and you just shouldn't have particular favorites. I don't. I don't have a favorite. I don't know what... It was two comments in a row that I saw it, and I thought about highlighting it and posting about it, and I just thought, no, I'm not going to call those people out for saying it's a bad season, because other people will pile on saying, you're crazy, what's wrong with you, and it's not my purpose. But it's not wrong. I mean, this is not a bad season at all. It's been a very good season. It's been even though the voting has been a bit lopsided a lot of times, what has led up to the voting has been, there's been a lot of action on Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. There's been a lot. Even this week, they're still talking about it. They're still talking about, well, what if we kept Nicole? What if we kept Felicia? What would happen? What if we do this? It's not been bad. It's not been overly aggressive, I mean, there's arguments, but they're okay afterwards. I don't need really, really anger, hate, the level that we've seen in some seasons where they don't need that for it to be a good season. They can respect each other and play. And I now that I say this, I want to because my head has popped back to something I've seen. Jared popped up in some interviews, and I saw somebody else address this, and I've kind of addressed it. I specifically said it when Jared came out, his interviews with a couple of the outlets after he was evicted, where I just felt he was very polished in his answers, very prepared, very polished, and I commented on it. I wasn't, and someone accurately said, what's he supposed to do? What do you want him to do? He said the right things. He apologized for certain things he'd said. He said he should learn from it and all. He said everything that was right. And so why would I, what's the point? I looked at it and thought, you can tell, in my brain it was like, well, you can tell he's from a family that's been involved in this kind of stuff. My thought was, wow, he learned from his mom. He's learned how to say the right things, how to do the right things. And it's like, but okay, is that a bad thing? Is it just it's more of an observation than anything else. And it's not always criticism. My thought is, the whole point of saying any of this is that, you can't judge what you see presented to you is not always what's going on. In other words, and just as an example, and don't say this is necessarily what happened, but Jared says a bunch of stuff to one of the interviews, and then he was, oh my God, well, the stuff I have to say and do to make people happy. And I'm not saying Jared did that, but I'm just kind of giving an example of that's the side that you don't see in the real world once they're out of the house. We see behind the curtain a lot of times on Big Brother. We see how the sausage is made on Big Brother that you do not see on any other reality show. And so it makes me a bit cynical towards everybody once they come out and they don't present that same persona that I saw in the house, because they're on. And this goes towards every house guest, by the way. This is not singling him out. It's just the way it is. We don't get to see them. For example, and this is just because I saw it happen. So, one of my online friends, Mark, who was in Sequester with me in my second Sequester season, and I retweet him occasionally, and he posted yesterday that there's a big, huge thing going on in New York right now with Rob has a podcast, Rob Sestranos, I think I say Rob's last name, that whole crew around Survivor and things, and they're having a big, huge get-together in New York. And so I have a lot of people that I know from online that are actually in New York hanging out. Mark lives in New York, or in New York area, in one of the boroughs, and he was meeting up with people, as well as a bunch of people from my first Sequester, a bunch of people I know that are in New York. I'm very jealous that they're all getting to get together and see each other. But Mark posted a picture with Izzy. So Izzy is at this whole get-together thing that's going on, and he posted a picture with Izzy. And, it's one of those, there's Izzy, and she's probably smiling and talking to everybody, being nice and friendly. At some point, she's going to get back to her hotel and be like, oh my God, what a mass of humanity, and I had to deal with people, and I had to say nice things, and I had to do this. And again, I am not saying she said all these things. Just imagine that she would, or how she makes. We don't get to see the behind-the-scenes Izzy like we would on the live feeds. That's my whole point here. This is my whole tangent that I have run off on, is that that's the problem with having watched the show like Big Brother, is that we see how the people are when the cameras aren't on, and even though they are on, right? And so it makes me just a bit cynical towards however I see them presented online afterwards. And most of the time, I don't care about what they're doing online afterwards. That's why I don't follow house guests after they're out of Big Brother, if for no other reason, because we're only seeing what they're choosing to present. We're no longer seeing everything, even though, again, you don't see everything in Big Brother. You see a lot more. So, does that all make sense? Was that a worthwhile discussion to have, Mike? Because you just took up everybody's time rambling about this for 5 minutes. Sorry, that's me. Welcome to my CarCast podcast, whatever you want to call it. All right, so I said I had nothing to talk about. I talked about stuff. Other stuff. So anyways, it is Wednesday. They will go around and around again a couple of different times about maybe we should get rid of Nicole. They were even talking about waiting and doing and pushing for it Thursday morning. So it'll be discussed. It's not going to happen. I really don't think they're going to keep Felicia. I think she's ready to go. So that's that. And then the strategizing. The next thing is all, again, depending on who wins the next head of household. Then everything starts to line up and we'll know what's going on. So I just kind of go like, we'll see what happens then. I'm not going to do a deep dive analysis on what every single house guest might do if they won head of household. I got better things to do with my time, and so probably do you. Let's talk about the Traitors. All right, so moving on from Big Brother. I've done the Big Brother talk. We will move on to a show called The Traitors, which I've talked about several times. You're probably sick of hearing about it. But if you want to see the newest season of The Traitors, which is Canada, which premiered 2 nights ago, I have posted a link that you can watch the first episode. Now, it's a weekly show, so the next episode isn't until next Monday, right? Which would be next Tuesday for people that are trying to watch it after the fact. But at BigBrotherGossip.com, the most recent post that I have made is still from December of last year. And that was the one where I was talking about the original seasons of The Traitors, Australia, UK, and I posted links so you could watch them for people that don't have that don't live in those countries, that wouldn't have the ability to see them because they don't live there, and there was no advantage. However, now bear in mind, Peacock, the NBC affiliate, does now carry Australia and UK. I believe Australia and UK. So those are actually available on Peacock now. So those of you that have Peacock, you should check them out there. However, if you don't, and I had these posted before they were on those, you can watch them via links on BigBrotherGossip.com, as well as Season 2 of Australia, Season 1 of New Zealand, and now Episode 1 of Canada is also posted there. I'll tell you, I got it. It's on Dailymotion. Dailymotion.com is where it's actually where I found it. I didn't find a torrent of it yet. I looked. I didn't find one. But it's on Dailymotion, and I simply loaded up a downloader. You can find sites that will download videos like off of YouTube or whatever. I downloaded the copy, one of the copies that was posted on Dailymotion, and then I turned right around and uploaded it to an account I have on Dailymotion, marked it private, and then put a link to it. This is all the inner workings of the way these things work out. And so the link that you find on BigBrotherGossip.com just points Dailymotion. You do not need an account on Dailymotion to watch individual videos. You may see a commercial before it kicks off, but that's just the nature of those kind of services. I mean, they got to make money somehow, right? But you can watch the first episode. Here's a spoiler alert. You don't see anybody get kicked off the show the first episode. They left it at a cliffhanger. So you find out who the actual traitors are, and you see them discuss who they're going to, quote, murder, but you don't actually see it. And there's definitely not a meeting to get rid of anybody the first. There's not an eviction or an expulsion or a banishment meeting. So everybody that is on the show to start with is still on the show at the end of the first episode. Somebody will get kicked off or voted out. Probably 2 people will get voted out next week, next Monday/Tuesday. Good show. It's interesting. Good cast. I only know a couple of the people off the show. A couple of people from Big Brother I recognize and know. The rest of the crew I'm not familiar with, and so I like that because I don't have some big, I like that the fresh. To me, they're fresh faces, and I like that. So, anyways, good show. It's on BigBrotherGossip.com. You can check it out, and that's all I'm going to say on that. Again, I will not spoil generally on who wins it or anything, or who gets murdered, kicked off. But you should check it out, right? And with that, I think I'm done, folks. I've taken up enough of your time on a Wednesday morning, and I will sign off and finish out my drive to work, and then I will talk to you guys tomorrow, where we'll be preparing for the next eviction slash head of household, right? Last night's episode. There's no episode tonight. If those of you that were under a rock, they've moved it because tonight is Survivor. I'll talk about Survivor tomorrow too. Tonight is Survivor and Amazing Race. So last night was the Big Brother episode, which I watched. I fast forwarded through the Exorcist stuff, which was a good third of the show at least, because I didn't want to. I just didn't need to see. Once I saw the competition one time through, which was Blue, I didn't need to see everybody else go through it. I knew who won. And the only big scene they really showed was the Cameron the meeting Cameron had with Matt and Jag, where he proposed getting rid of backdooring Corey, which didn't happen. And I had already posted a video of that meeting on Sunday, I think it was. So those of you that follow me on Twitter, you'd already and watched that video. You saw good chunks of that, of what they showed on the TV show. You saw it on my Twitter account on Sunday. So it's kind of cool when I see them use something that I've already seen extensively, right? That's what I expect them to do. It was a good meeting and it had lots of information, so I'm not surprised they went with that route too. But anyways, all right, now I'm done. I'm going. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for your support. I have to make a concerted effort to get my list of patrons together so I can give everyone an appropriate shout out in the next couple of days. So that will happen, right? Good enough. Talk to you all later. Take care. Bye-bye.